Vijay and I, we met on this random night in Bombay. So I was walking down Bandra and it was raining and I had an umbrella with me and there was this guy with all these Bollywood actresses walking on the other side of the road and
Not true.
being very cozy with all of them.
This is sounds like a movie that Ajay would play in his theatre.
And you would definitely stream.
You probably would.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Seriously?
that's how I met him. And then
No, that's not how we met. He get me into trouble.
I was like, don't stop, keep going. I mean, don't stop. Please keep going. Tell us more.
no, Vijay.
I think the star stopped by saying, "Will you ever find Nikhil Kamath under an umbrella walking in Bandra?" I don't see that happening
all the time.
He's painting a picture. Setting this.
No, we met through a common friend and we started contemplating what we can do around consumption, content, or the crossroads of Bangalore and Bombay, like the tech world here and the entertainment world there. And we started a fund and we kind of like worked together and all of that. But you guys should introduce yourself to each other because I know all three of you.
The most exciting part of my introduction is I stumbled onto this business because
Started childhood.
son of an army officer. So born during the peak of Operation Blue Star, hence the name Vijay, because my mom delivered me literally alone in an army nursing home.
Wow.
They asked me, my doctor was a Sardar, Dr. Gulati, and he asked, birthmarks, important, right? Because it's Bhinderwala and it's curfew and all of that's going on. So Gulati sir said, your son has come with his own birthmark, which is where the double thumb comes into play.
Incredible.
And he's very lucky. He told my mom this. And of course, we kept shifting cities over time. Settled in Bangalore in 95. That's when my dad retired. And started in 2000, stumbled on the opportunity of managing a band in my 11th standard.
So 11th standard, you were managing.
I was
the
managed
band.
because my friends always said I have the gift of the gab. I don't know whether that's true or no. They always thought
We'll
that.
get to know after the end of the conversation.
I guess. They always. So my best friend always tells me, dude, you can sell ice to an Eskimo. So I said, okay. He said, now come and manage this for us and make us money. I'm like, you're in the 11th standard. What money are you going to make? Like, literally. So, but I tried that. And our first show was a birthday party. And thank God it's Friday in Indiranagar, the mall that got burnt down. That's where TGIF was. And our drummer didn't show up for 3 straight practices. And because we were playing Backstreet Boys, Boyzone, fairly easy songs to play, I filled in on a couple of practice sessions and they said, you know what, this is good.
So you're a natural.
So, yes, the top 5 days of my life are my marriage, birth of my 2 children, opening for Iron Maiden in Palace Grounds, Bangalore.
Wow.
Yeah. You just slipped that in there.
I just slipped that in.
Through all this domestic
So I'm
stuff.
going to take a
Iron
sip to
Maiden.
that.
That's incredible.
Opening for Iron Maiden and the birth of my company, Collective Artists Network. But I think that drumming's journey was, I was doing studying on the side. I was a good student. I was not an A student, but I was a first class student. I wasn't a distinction student. I realized I was in Ramaya doing my mechanical engineering. And that's when I realized that if right now somebody asked me to go fit a tire, I won't be able to do it. I realized, bhai, ye nahi hoga. Engineering, entertainment is meant for me. So my induction into the world of entertainment was more because of my band and my musician background.
Absolutely.
And at that point in time, Mahesh Bhupati was just kickstarting a sports management company called Global Sport. It's a full journey. Mahesh and I have now again gone back to being really close. But Mahesh came to my house. We live in Indiranagar. We have a 2-floor. And he took my first floor for rent to start Global Sport. So Global Sport starts in my house. And I walked up one day and I just said, can I intern? And they said, sure. That was my journey into the world of sports and entertainment. And then, of course, life is... In 2009, we moved out to then set up what was, at that point in time, called as Kwan. That journey happened for close to 10 years. Yeah, 12, 10, 11 years. I think we were very, very clear, having an outside in point of view on what's happening in the business. I mean, you really didn't have the concepts of agents back in the day, right? I mean, the film industry at that point in time, during the late 90s to 2000s, was pretty much driven by managers. You know, the Mark Mascarenhas had just about happened with Sachin and Worldtel. I remember, I mean, God bless him. Mark is actually my neighbor in Bangalore. So Mark's dad and my granddad were the first two people who built houses on Cambridge layout where we live.
You must be from a wealthy family.
Who? I mean, I'm not from a No, actually, I wouldn't.
I love that expression.
I'm trying to answer. I'm genuinely trying to answer that question.
You know, when you have to think whether you're wealthy or not,
No.
means you're really
No.
wealthy. Like it's like
No,
that
listen,
same
If
thing.
you
No.
started building the first homes in Bangalore, you're
Yeah.
definitely
Listen to
wealthy.
me.
Also, when
No.
you take a salary of ₹1 a month or $1 a month or
You're
something
also
like
wealthy.
Listen,
You're super wealthy.
I come from a place where my job requires sensationalizing everything, and I'm so fed up of saying,
They're doing it for you, right?
I'm so fed up of hearing, oh, we came from nothing, and this. No, we weren't rags, we weren't riches. We were.
Don't
what
you think that thing is overdone? The whole pretending to be.
Completely. So no, we were very, very, very clearly middle class. There was no rags to riches story, but it was neither here nor there. Service family. So the entire business from an India POV is just so new. What I mean by saying is the concept of outside in, right? Where to not be a part of the system to actually create impact in the system is a very, very new concept. And let me actually flesh that out for you a little bit. I don't think you had the studios came in, right, back in the day. Before that, the way production used to work was not really corporatized, right? I mean, it was a little wild west in that sense, right? Then there was the entire satellite boom that happened. Then now streamers have come in. I think every part, since you mentioned evolution, the front end of the ecosystem has consistently evolved over the last couple of decades, over a period of time. The back end of the ecosystem has also now continuously evolved over a period of time. You know, there was the concept of agents really didn't exist in 2000 even. Right? It was basically an age-old family secretary writing dates.
Oh wow, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. It was not. I mean, there was no emailing a date or there was no contracts. You know, it was very, very clearly dealt very directly. I think to their credit, I think Shailendra and Harinder at Percept were the first real godfathers of that business, and that's why I spoke about Mark, because when Mark did those lovely deals with Sachin and Worldtel at that point in time, that was the real starting of the Jerry Maguire journey of the business, right? Mark was probably India's first
Mark
real
what?
agent, Mascarenhas.
Mascarenhas, yeah.
And I remember when he passed away, God bless him, there was this star-studded funeral kind of thing happening in his house, and we shared a compound wall, right? And everyone had come, from Ravi Shastri to Sachin to all of that, right? And I remember that Ravi Shastri had won, if you'll remember this, he had won the Benson and Hedges Man of the Series.
Yeah. The
So
Audi.
he had this parked right outside Mark's house, and I was looking at the Audi saying, "Yaar, kya gaadi hai?" Literally. But I think Mark started it, and then slowly we started getting involved, and we started having more and more look into how can one do this in a slightly more streamlined and organized way. To your question of budgets, for whatever comes in, and I think the studio system brought in some degree of discipline in terms of the way budget works, in terms of the way film works. Today, of course, we are again living in, which I'm pretty certain we'll allude to at some point in time, we're again living in slightly dystopic times when it comes to the overall commerce of talent, the marriage between platform, and both of you guys are platforms in a way, right? Marriage between commerce, platform, and talent has to find the next level of evolution. I mean, this happened back in the day in CAA when back in the day in the West when actors started participating in gross profit points was back in the day, and that made such a huge impact to a business. I mean, for the sake of reading, everybody must there's a book called Powerhouse, which is the story of CAA, where you talk about the greatest films that would not have gotten made if the economic structure of conversations didn't change. Forrest Gump being one of it. Forrest Gump was in scripting, I think, for 9.5 years.
Wow.
Never got made. It was in the cans. And, Top Gun or Jerry Maguire, you look at all of these films, the history of these films were at some point in time, the industry in itself took a view on changing the way commerce worked. That was a triangulation between exhibition, production, and talent. That was literally the point at which the triangulation at where the business metamorphosized.
Hi, I'm Nikhil Kamath. I'd love to know what you thought of the episode. Comment, like, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.